rebuttal or sort of resistance in 2024. This is also another one, okay? Because of this part, what I just mentioned now, you are going to see more and more protests. I mean, a lot of people believe that Nigerians are going to be docile, like they have been conquered. There's nothing that's going to happen. Now, look at me very well. Write it down. There is going to be one big massive protest that is going to spread beyond what everyone have ever seen before as well in 2024. What I don't see is the sustainability of it. I mean, you are going to have a cool scare in 2024 Nigeria. When I say cool scare, all the level of unhappiness, the level of terrorism, insecurity, the level of economic hardship, and so many other things that are going to pile up, they are going to give Nigeria a cool scare. When I say cool scare, it's going to be like, oh, we heard that there's going to be a coup. Things like that. And Tifnumbu, you who are going to go into 2024, know this, so sure you get, like Bokwari's time, you are also going to spend some of your 2024 praying if Tifnumbu is going to return from France or is not going to return from France. You see that kind of health scare. You are going to experience that in 2024 as well. Now, you see all of this are going to pave way for the criminals that are the thieves assembled by Tifnumbu, like Bokwari. Why Tifnumbu is going to be away battling with his health, just like Bokwari, the entire economy is going to be feasted on. And around that time, they are going to make you feel like 1,800 naira to $1 is nothing bad. 1,700 naira to $1, 2,000 naira to £1 is not something bad. They are going to make you feel like that, okay? And as expected, they are telling you that they want to unveil something like what Emefiole did, where they are going to invest in a rice pyramid, agriculture nonsense. Of course, you will think, at least if they do that, that should somehow help the food inflation. The insecurity is going to keep the food inflation higher and higher. And because there will be no real investors that are going to bring their resources in, I mean, I don't know if you have heard this, right? Let's move to that part of the economy. As they are coming, they tell you, they write them down. It's not me wishing Nigeria evil. It is what it is, that if you pay attention like this.
A client of mine had a matter in EFCC, and he was telling me, he said they had foreign investors who were ready to bring in dollar into Nigeria to invest throughout the last 4 years of President Buhari's administration, that a top minister in government was asking for bribe. What is in it for me? Before they will allow those investors bring in the fund. And that was consistently happening in CBN. It is still happening today in some cases.
It's not just your client in the last 4 years. I can tell you that the same is currently happening.
In this under Bola Tinubu?
Well,
nothing has changed.
Whether my client are talking to President Tinubu is another conversation entirely. But there are people who want to bring funds to this country in hard currency. They have to.
Are we caught in this country?
One of them approached me.
What is going on?
One of them approached me in Germany and say, "What is the problem with your country? We have funds we want to give to your country because of the advocacy you are pushing around the world. But can't we give this money to your country without paying any bribes? Must we pay bribes to help you?" It is so insane. He talked about 4 years ago. I am telling you of what is happening today. December 2023. You see, like I said earlier, people we trusted to come to government to help us. Maybe they directly trust others or indirectly trust others. Nigeria is bleeding because of the trust that we have given to our people, our leaders, to help us come out to come out of economic quagmire. Unfortunately, they've turned themselves to economic vampires, sucking the vitality of our economy. See, if we don't receive this help between now and 2024 December, forget it. Naira will be equivalent of what Tanzanian shilling.
A client of
This is not wishing Nigeria bad or wishing evil on. No. Just pay attention. May Asiwaju succeed. Succeed in what? You will buy a bag of rice for over 100,000 naira. And it is not because what do you call it? It's not because people want that to happen, because it's going to affect everyone. But it is because of their actions. May I give you the idea of some of it? Nigeria that doesn't have money, unable to fund its healthcare system, education system, right? Infrastructure. Nigeria that needs a lot of money to be invested in the real infrastructure, in your economy. Every money you can find anywhere should go straight into that your economy. Find means to rejig that economy. These guys said they want to spend 27.5 trillion naira. Out of that 27.5 trillion naira, 20.5 trillion from that money is just money for yafu, money for salaries, money for, presidential this, vice presidential that, money for senators, lawmakers, money for buying this or that, and then servicing the debts of Nigeria. 22 trillion of the money. Mind you, they do not have the money. Nigeria have the population, okay? But Nigeria and Nigerians, they are so poor that Nigeria is the jobless people's capital of the world. Nigeria is the country with the most jobless people in the world, in case if you don't know. All right? So that simply means the purchasing power of the people will be very low. The governments of the country may have the number, but lesser and lesser and lesser people are going to be contributing into their tax basket. Here you get. So if you have United States of America in 2020, year ending 2023, America generated over $157 trillion in taxes. 157 trillion. That's a lot of money. And that is why you can see them spend so much, even though they are still kind of in, still borrowing to run their own economy and all that in tax alone. Nigeria has a population that is at least next to that of American population, but Nigerians are so poor that the entire taxes or revenue they expect to generate from Nigeria in 2024 in their budget, they put that at 8 trillion naira. You can easily say maybe $8 billion. That is for the country of 200 million people. The country of 350 million people generates trillions of dollars because they have the working population, they have businesses, they have all of that. That's actually what continue to thrive. And as they are thriving, the government makes money. In Nigeria, the companies are folding up, the citizens are losing their jobs, the government is not making any money. Rather, they started printing money. Printing money that they didn't make. So devalued the people themselves. But you do not have money to live the luxurious life you are living, the luxury life, right? The 100 or 200 convoys for state governors, for president, for this, the private jets, for that, presidential this or that, presidential yacht. You do not have that money. But they live like the African prince once you become the president. So you live this way. You are counting on the you're counting on the crude oil to kind of rise so that you can make more money if possible. You are lying to the people. The state of the economy, or should I say the state of the Nigeria Central Bank vault. You lie to people, and then they are going into a year that you are actually going to dip them more about into this mystery. And somebody go this way and say 2024 is your year. Of course, now that's why it is. See, when they tell you 2024 is your year, they know that the situation you are going into is a situation of like a dog eats dog. So if you don't eat someone, somebody will hit you. So at the end of the day, that's why they said those that will die, and those that will survive in a jungle or in a contraption like Nigeria. So when they tell you it's a renewed hope, you are like, renewed what? So economically, ladies and gentlemen, and to you, the students, some of you are going to be able to japa education, no matter how expensive it is, you'll be able to japa in 2024. And that is what will make you, or will probably take you to that your dreamland of, being educated. A lot of you are going to have to leave school. And I'm talking about in the next few hours, you're going to understand that very well, okay? So there is going to be a lot of mass withdrawal from different schools. Those of you who they promise student loans, right? You are going to, you're going to realize it in the next few hours that you would have to choose between going back to that school or just going somewhere else to do something. You know what I am saying, right? So 2024, as a lot of people are planning towards 2024, and you are planning too. And as a student, okay, I hope you are actually planning towards 2024. Pray for those who support you. If you are students, I can't say pray per se, because there's nothing your prayer is going to do. Listen to me. There are so many people, so many of you who are being supported or sponsored by your uncles and aunties. Some of them are also going to turn to Oloshi by next year. Or those that are smart are going to find a way to run away from Nigeria. So a lot of you are students. You should be preparing yourselves for something alternative in 2024, because they're going to make education more and more inaccessible to so many of you will not have access to that education. And that is also going to help increase the crime, that a lot of you are going to have to deal with new crimes in 2024. This year, I saw people who are being pursued by loan sharks, loan apps, simply because somebody used their data to borrow money. 15,000, 20,000. They didn't need much, just steal somebody's data and you can borrow money from them. And the loan apps will begin to publish your pictures or your name on social media and call you different names until you pay them. In 2024, you are going to see the new crimes. All of these are going to border on how you are going to, like, like dog eats dog, like I said, to survive. So I can see that in an economy that is not going to create a real job, a lot of people are going to create other means of survival. Okay. So I just don't know if, kidnapping, organized kidnapping for food and other things are going to be new crimes. But the economy you are going to in 2024 is dire. It is dire because if you look at like I said, Nigeria has no money. These criminals have added extra money to the money they didn't even have. They wanted to borrow just to buy more luxury for themselves. There is no real investment in your power generation and the distribution. There is no real investment in any of your developmental infrastructure per se. It's go take a look at that book. Go and look at it. So if Bokwari brought you to this state because he devalued your money, simply because he was borrowing money everywhere, printing money, Tifnumbu they're already printing the money now. 7.3 trillion naira. This is the money they printed from the blues, and they are going to account for it as a revenue. So I know where that is going to head. So they're already thinking that the way Nigeria is going, they might need to indeed, reconsolidate your banks. So they are going to shut down some of your banks because Tifnumbu and his gang and his friends, they have already marked some of the banks they want to own in the Imagine Nigeria that some of you should begin to get ready for. All right. So some of your banks are going to be repossessed in 2024. That is not even supposed to be a prophecy. Have you been reading the news? Have you been following what they are doing at all? No? Of course, you are going to lose some of your banks next year. So are some of your money too. Under Bokuwari, they did everything. After stealing money from the pensioners, they decided to steal money from dead people because they told them from the data of the banks in Nigeria, there are some banks, some bank accounts that have become docile. What do you call that thing again? Docile account. The accounts that have become like dormant, dormant accounts. They consider the owners of those accounts dead. When they mop up all the money in those accounts under Bokuwari, they said they could still get up to 3-something trillion naira from those accounts. Emefiole was working on mopping the money and giving them to Bokuwari. But I don't know if they did. That's exactly how everything is going to go around. They will take everything they can take everywhere. Yes, they will. And because it's going to be an economy run by different, criminals here and there, you would have to live in that 2024 with your breath in your mouth. Like, do not lose it. Do not. Hold everything you have right now so passionately. If you have a job, I don't know what you do. Hold it, embrace it. And I pray you won't lose it. Their policy will make you lose a lot. And if I ask a lot of you who survived 2023, your experience and every other thing that you have you have to live for, in 2022, you probably didn't plan it that way, did you? No. Hold your relationship very, very dearly because you may lose them too. When your relationship, when your love are going to be put to test by unseen forces, unseen evil forces that you will say, but to me, they are seen. They can be seen. The policies of the criminals in the public space, in your government, from the local government to your state, to the federal, to everywhere. Look around what they are doing. See how this affects you. Tell yourselves how it affects you directly. Be conscious of them. They are not evil spirits. They are not generational causes. No. Under Bokuwari, we saw young people that were committing suicide, and we're like, what in the world will make a young person want to take their life? Like, what in the world? But the reality out there is that you need to see children that have grown up so fast because the Nigerian system had to force them to grow up so fast. A lot of us grew up so fast. And today we probably didn't even know what Nigeria did to us. A lot of us lost our childhood because we had to grow up so fast. At the age of 7, we are already taking responsibility of adults. At the age of 10, we are already blaming ourselves for what we didn't do right. We didn't even know we were kids. There were many of us like that who grew up that way. There are those who are growing up that way right now in Nigeria, even worse. So Nigeria took a lot away from us and made all of us to what we are today. Well, thanks to redemption, that some people will admit to. They'll say, well, I'm glad there for redemption, man. Thank God I don't look like what I have been through. That's the weapons fashioned against you. Those are the evil spirits. Take a look at their policies. Not what they say, what they do. Take your time and see and reflect how this actually cuts deep, and who are the victims that bleeds from all of this? You and I. So hold everything you own dearly, because the effort is to take them away from you without even touching you. So when you sit and pray, you should know where you are directing that prayer to, so that you don't become a blasphemer, looking at God and say, God, why have you forsaken me? How come you didn't listen to my prayer? It's listening to your prayer. You're not listening to yourself, because you're not paying attention to the right things. When you have a system that is rigged against you, you don't fight this tribal, ethnic, and religious battle if you're not stupid. Retards fight over absolute nonsense. They dissipate so much energy. And fighting imaginary enemies when you can see the real one in front of you. But ethnic, tribe, religion, and what have you blinded you so much to make you feel like maybe it's not that bad, when it is really, really worse. That's what the system does. It comes to you, take away from you everything they can without even touching you. 2024 is one of those where your faith will be put to test, where your belief in everything will be put to test as well. It could be the year that you have been waiting for, or probably the year that you wish never happens. Now, what do I mean by that? We know that a lot of people feels like this whole thing is being exaggerated, and we do pray that you do not become a victim before you understand that it is realer than real. But somehow, the system doesn't discriminate when it's sort of kind of democratic. If you look at it, those who would kill for them, those that would destroy for them, just to be in that position, they are not spared from the consequences or the backdrop of their policies. Nobody is spared. People just kind of knows how to pretend about it more than the other. So everybody is going to collect. But somebody said, one great thing that we have is that there are so many of us on the path of truth, and we have remained consistent on there to keep the people in the light. As long as that enlightenment called light, you see that light in enlightenment, if we can keep shining it and shining it, this is what will keep people, will keep them on the path of self-redemption, and indeed the ability to resist what they know is completely rigged against them. How do you resist something when you have no idea how worse it is rigged against you? Do you want to experience it first? Or do you actually want to use others' experiences to avoid being a victim too before something is done? So on Mayegun's Diary Politico, always remember this. The system is not there because of me and you. The system is currently surviving because you and I are still finding reasons to disagree with ourselves, despite the fact that we are the victims. They are victims. So in 2024, It should be a resolution to hold on to. A resolution like, if a system is created to kill me, what is wrong if I join hands with the victims of that system to end it? And when you have that chance, what do you think can stop you when you have a chance to contribute into the end of what has brought all of us to this precipice? When you have that chance, what do you think can stop you? Your religion, tribe, or your ethnic nationality? What do you think can stop you when you have a chance of ending this madness with others like yourself? Nothing. If you have the right information. See, when you stop enabling them by hoping that Nigeria can be savaged, when the criminals who put it in place want it to remain as it is without doing something different. I mean, we don't want to do that in 2024. So hold on to your family members that you love so much. Embrace them and hold them, because they might be the only reason why you want to fight. People need to have a reason why they want to fight for something. When you look around you, I did ask people, I said, could you please close your eyes? Close your eyes just for a moment. And then you're like, what do you see? It says, nothing. Just some, just abyss. Think about what you say, apart from money and where have you, that you say you really value. Things you hold dear, things that you would never want taken away from you. It could be anything. It could be your family, it could be your job, it could be your friends or friendship that you have built, it could be anything. And what would you do if it was snapped away from you or about to be snapped away from you? What would you do? You let go? Yeah, would you let go? Obviously not, you won't. If you can do something. And that is why every time you remember that the Nigeria system is put together to take everything away from you, whether you support them or you don't support them, it is put together to take everything away from you, including your life, your job, your business, your house, your land, your investments, your invention, your everything. It is just a matter of time. Every day people fall down. They fall by the way, even without them being touched. The system is there. They refuse to invest in healthcare. And today, the majority of those who are supposed to be helping the Nigerian people in Nigeria are currently earning their living elsewhere, thousands of miles away from the place they were supposed to be rendering those services, because their services was never valued, and it is intentional. In a country where the poverty is something out of this world, it is man-made, by the way. That same country is doing everything to make education inaccessible for their own people, and you think it's not deliberate? So they want to take everything away from you. You must always remember that. It doesn't matter where you belong. Look at the people who are complaining and crying. Some of them actually believe these guys have something to offer. There are those who still believe that maybe they do still have something to offer. They have nothing to offer. People are going to fall into more poverty. Oh, seriously, it's going to be worse. It is not because we want it to be. We are saying, take a look at what they are doing. You cannot be doing what they are doing and expect a different result when you are not mad. So if you have been planning 2024 for this or that, if there's any reason for you to be very angry, yes, if you are looking for any reason to be angry with the system, and you should never stand where they are defending it without destroying such a narrative, is because a lot of you have plans. Next year, I am graduating and I'm going to get a job. Or next year, I'm getting married and we are going to get married next year. Oh, next year, I'm going to look for this or that. Oh, next year, I am planning to kind of, grow my business. Oh, next year, you're all having your plans for 2024 as we speak. But the system is going to make you question yourself, doubt yourselves. Okay? Is something wrong with me that I can't find a wife? Or is something wrong with me that I can't find I can't find husband? There's nothing wrong with you. The actions of these criminals and their policies are going to make you doubt yourself. Yeah. You're going to need medical care. And a lot of people are going to get wrong diagnosis. They're going to be praying for healing on a wrong diagnosis. And they're going to look unto God and say, God, why have you not listened? Why have you forsaken me? Like I said, the system is going to make you doubt yourself. The system is going to make you feel like you're not good enough. But if you begin to pay attention now, you are never going to find yourself in that quagmire. So if you are going to be angry and looking for reasons to justify your anger against what the system has against you, take a look at your plan and see, what is that threat, the only threat you have against your 2024 plan? Have you ever asked yourself, wait, I have planned everything. In 2024, I just want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this. Once I get this and I get that and all of that, you are planning, doing everything right now. What? Tell yourself, what exactly is your personal fear that you are hoping doesn't affect your plan for 2024? What? Nigeria. Government. A lot of you, your fear towards 2024's plan is that you have no idea what the economy is going to be like. You have no idea how you're going to kind of survive in case if it goes this other way. That's your fear. That is something that is enough to tell you or get you really, really prepared for what 2024 is. So when people say, make your new year resolution, just take a look around you and don't be one of those stupid people who feels like God is a magician and he can just change everything. There are those who make more money that they have ever made in their life in 2023. Yeah, do you know that? As we are talking about this hardship, talking about this, disappointment and all of this about Nigeria, there are those that will tell you this 2023 is the year that they've actually recorded any progress, tangible something in their lives. There are those like that. But when the economy doesn't reflect that, what is wrong if everyone is winning? What is wrong if the number of those who are winning, those who got new jobs, those who start new businesses, those who are now like, inventors, those who, people who have done things that have impacted the lives of the people. Why are we not having more of that? And that is what we are saying. You should be able to say, I am going to, you should be able to sort of develop and grow year in, year out. But the reason why a lot of you will make a year progress and then you get a 2 years regression and all that, and you begin to struggle again, then you get on there. You know what I mean? The reason is because the actions and the inactions of these criminals does not discriminate whether you are Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, or what have you. It comes for everyone. You know why I said that too, right? Even in Nigeria, where they are profiling the Igbos, the Igbo businesses and all of that stuff, trust me, those Igbo businesses that survived, ask them, how did they survive? For those who have whatever capital they've had somewhere, even with all their losses, they have managed to push some of the losses on you people, the consumers. Here you get. So when the criminal politicians who are profiling the Igbos and their businesses, right, when they go on to go and scheme them and scrabble them and do all of that, the surviving businesses put the entire cost back on the rest of you, and you will pay because there are services that you cannot do without. You see, policies, actions of politicians, their people, and how this affects everyone. It's like it's like a vicious circle. Like catch-22 or a rat race, So they now put all of you in a place where you are now kind of doing a rat race. And do you know something about rat race? There is no amount of winning. You win in a rat race. You will still be a rat. Like, who would kind of love to remain a rat? Rats are not such admirable reptile or rat race. There is no amount of winning you win in a rat race. You will always remain a rat. And that's what they have created. So you can ask for, you can get something different if you want something different. And that's why I told people that on Mayegun's Diary Politico, you don't have to agree with me, but you would agree with me when you begin to put yourself in the real scenario and see clearly how this really affects you. And why we must all see it same way. They say if you can't beat them, they said you should join them. On Mayegun's Diary Politico, I keep telling my own brethren, when you can't beat them, don't join them. Come and call all of us so that we can join hands and we will beat them. That should be your motivation into 2024. Whatever they've thrown at us, just remember, now person will give up, now you fuck up. If you have any reason to be angry, any reason to really be upset with the rotten system these criminals represent and what they are still throwing at you, think about what their actions and what they have set to do will kind of be on you, your businesses, your family, and everything, including your faith in 2024. So instead of you falling by the way to join them because you cannot beat them, please don't. The Biafrans, the revolutionists, the Yoruba Nation campaigners, the Middle Beltans, Christians, Muslims, Mamalawos, Babalawos, Brotherlawos, Auntilawos, Unclelawos, and then even Grandma, Grandpalawos, and the rest of them. All of you watching me right now, let that be your resolution for 2024. Do not join them because you can't beat them. Join us. Call us. Every one of us. Hands in hand. Holding ourselves in camaraderie and face them. We will beat them. And I believe that. And how do we do that? Is when we remain united in one goal, because we have one enemy, the system, and it doesn't matter who is in charge of it. It's not what they say, it is what they do. So thank you very much. As a lot of us are preparing for this crossover, you call it, and all that, to my friends in Australia and other places, Happy New Year to you. We have done well in 2023. As your own MOG, Mayegun, the Overseer General of the Temple of Truth, I promise you, as long as I breathe, as long as I am breathing, you can always count on the truth of this platform to keep guiding us until we have the number. So, I will say compliment of the season, even though, it is what it is now, it's not a season's greetings, it's the season's cleansing. So, we'll leave it at that. I will see you next year. So, once again, Happy New Year from here, and good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary, Diary Politico.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o, kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
pírẹsidó bá rúfin o
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn làjì
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràgì
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lérí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú.